Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's Jay Hood here at Jay Hood Comics YouTube channel. Have you ever had one of those days where you have the best of intentions? You're gonna get up bright and early, come out here and do a show to entertain the people, and then you miss the alarm clock. You get in a conversation with your wife. You want that to take the priority. Eat some lunch. Gotta go see what everybody's yelling about. And so here I am. It's 1:15 in the East, and I'm happy to sit down with you and just chit chat, go over a few things that I've got on my mind, and go over some of the big pickups I've had for 2023, talk about what I'm going to try and target for 2024. But as always, the best part of the show is dealing with our audience that's in the live chat. So let's see who we've got this morning. We've got Matthew Poe. Matthew, one of our faithful watchers, almost every time that he knows we've got a show going on. Gore Vidal, busting my chops as always, and I appreciate him for it. I told him I was dodging bullets, and he's saying dodging bullets left and right is the day in the life here in Texas. I don't doubt it. And got my man Coach Vic in the live chat. Thanks for joining me, guys. So it's been a crazy year for me. I kind of hemmed and hawed around what was going on in the last show. You're starting to sound like Al now. Leaving you guys out in the cold. It is cold today and getting colder. Hope everybody's staying warm. And so it's been, like I said, it's been a crazy year. And I didn't want to get into details last time because there was an announcement that was going to be made. So the announcement's been made, so I'm able to talk about a little bit more about what's been going on. So if you tune in to find out little tidbits about what's happening on the model kit side, where I go to work every day and work on sci-fi and pop culture model kits, you've probably seen a little bit of a slowdown from Round 2, the company I work for this year. So it's like I said, it's been crazy. What has happened is that we've had a turnover in upper management, and we've got new management that's come in and given everything a look with really like a super fresh eyes, kind of resetting the perspective of everything that's going on in the company from top to bottom. And as we've been doing less new product this year, I'm not going to go into why we had that slow down. It's kind of a business decision. But one of the things I was able to do is kind of become more, I don't want to say more influential within the company, but I was tasked with kind of examining things, bringing my thoughts to the table, things that could be improved, new ways of start to think things through. And what has happened is I've performed well enough in the eyes of the new management that I've gotten a promotion. And so I'm now, instead of just developing the lineup of sci-fi and pop culture model kits for AMT and Polar Lights and MPC, I am now the head of all product development for Round 2 for our entire company. So now I'm in more of a supervisor role, management role, to take a look at everything we do. We do, like I said, sci-fi model kits. We do automotive model kits. We've got, and that's just about half of our business. The other half is die-cast cars in 1/64th and 1/18th scale. We've got a company that we own out in Arkansas called Big Country Toys that focuses on more, I don't want to say rural, but farmland kind of subject matter. So they're touching a lot on the farming aspect, offering toys in a line there, bull riding, everything you're finding out there kind of in the south central part of the country, Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma. that area where they're really focusing on uh, toys and entertaining that kind of lifestyle, the farming and agricultural lifestyle. Thank you, Gore. It means a lot. I have gotten quite a bit of support within the company for being elevated in this role, and I'm definitely it's it's an it's an honor to think that someone thinks that highly of the things I bring to the table, and to get this much support from everybody in the company. It means a lot. I'm not going to be able to do it without that kind of support, kind of across the board. So I get to do things like figure out, like, okay, if we're going to do slot car sets, how many are we going to do? What are they going to be? Not necessarily that I have to go and figure out exactly what they're going to be, but I get to sit in meetings and listen to people pitch ideas and kind of evaluate, okay, if this is what we've done, what's been successful, what are they showing us that will fit in the line and gain more success and something like that. That's what I have to help kind of work through and figure out. So when it comes to the product development side of the company, I'm at the top of the totem pole. I report to upper management. But so part it's been a long process, kind of not figuring it out, but kind of evaluating what is needed. So part of this year has been me doing some traveling. That was part of what I've been doing, and it's kept me away from doing YouTube stuff. And there's my hair like sticking up. Me always being the vain one. But I got to do fun stuff like go to Disney, go to NASA, I went to New York, and I'll be doing more traveling and stuff like that. But one of the things that I want to get back to, and it's part of this evolution of what I'm doing professionally, is that I see less, I don't want to say fun. There's definitely interest and there's challenges involved that I look forward to taking on. But I want to make sure that when I'm not doing that, I'm enjoying things that bring me joy. And part of that is comic books, and part of that is friends, my buddies like Coach Vic, and being able to interact with Gore Vidal and Matthew Poe and anyone else in an avenue like this. So I hope to do some more, I want to say more regular content, come on at a more regular pace. Al, Victor, and I are discussing maybe a Thursday night show, probably continuing a Saturday show, and maybe we do 2 shows a month, one on a Saturday and one on a Thursday. And then maybe I pop on and do little things like this along the way. Maybe not. I'm hoping tomorrow we'll be able to work it out so that Coach Vic and I can come on and do our first episode reviewing 100 Bullets. In all honesty, I did 3 episodes of me talking about the first 3 arcs of 100 Bullets. And as I was going back and editing the first episode, I thought, man, this is incredibly dull. No one's going to watch this. I wouldn't even want to watch it. So we're going to bring on a fresh perspective with Coach Vic, and we'll read through issue by issue and talk about it. And right now we're going to be going through issue 7, which is essentially the first trade. I read issue 8 last night, and I realized why they stopped the trade at issue 7. So we're going to cover the first batch of stories, and then kind of see how things unfold from there. But I'm doing things a little bit out of order from what I intended, but that's okay. So now we'll take a look at some of the big books I picked up this year, and I kind of talk through why I think they're a big deal. And let's see what's comment here. We got John is a huge fan of 100 Bullets. I know he and White Whale are both aficionados of that. Yeah, I look forward to seeing what he has to say about it too along the way. So yeah, books I picked up this year. I pulled out a handful that were notable. I don't know if I landed on my top 10 or not, but These are the ones I'm excited to kind of, at the end of the year, kind of bring all in one batch and show as my year-end haul. Thank you, Matthew. I'm definitely going to have a sweet spot for the sci-fi stuff, and will still have my hand in it a little bit, maybe just not as much as I have in the past. So, first book, and this might be a little bit of an odd book for me. Our Army at War, number 182, and I realized this is a book that I've wanted for quite a while, and in reviewing my visual list that I'll show you here in a few minutes, I never realized I never had this on the actual target or hunt list. The any luck finding the giant size X-Men one? I did find that a couple years ago, and we'll touch on that when I show my my visual hunt list. So why pick up Our Army at War with Sergeant Rocket, issue 182? This is the first kind of big boy art job that Neal Adams did for DC Comics. He did a backup story, several pages, and is definitely very recognizable as Neal Adams artwork. But you can tell he was quite young when he did it, and it's not quite up to snuff with everything else that he's done since then. But you can imagine that, a young artist getting his opportunity. He's definitely going to develop his talent over time, and he did. Next up, this is a more recent pickup, and I think I showed this even in the last episode. Batman 139, the one of one Rat Shoe edition, where the rat got a hold of the bottom corner there. First appearance of Bat hyphen Girl. Is it a hyphen, a dash? However you want to say it. But I got the first appearance of Barbara Gordon as Batgirl, in Detective Comics, and Al gave me a hard time saying that wasn't the first appearance of Batgirl. Well, now I have the first appearance of Batgirl, regardless of how you spell her name or who the secret identity is. One of the things I've been trying to do that's been a goal of mine is finish up my run of X-Men from 94 through the end of the series. There are about 8 issues in the 3 to 400 range that I need, and then there were just a handful of issues I needed before and after issue 100. And so I was able to pick up books like this year, X-Men 97. This was, as of this year, was the oldest or the lowest number I needed for that run. As I stand right now, I landed 97, 98, and 99, and some of them are behind me back there. The issues I need are number 100 in the Byrne Cockrum or the Claremont Cockrum era. I need 100, 102, and 103. Yeah, I got 104 is right there. So just a small handful of those. '97 is a copy for, I think it's mostly for the cover and what it insinuates, the brother versus brother battle. I think it's a great cover by Dave Cockrum. And this one, of the books in this era that don't have a first appearance or something like that, this is one of them that drives a premium price. Issue 100 also drives a pretty decent price for not being anything except for a number 100. Matthew Poe says, I remember when Superman went back in time to Easy Company. He lost his memory and supposedly died. He regained his memory and went back to his time. That'd be a crazy story. Was that maybe a copy of DC Comics Presents? That'd be one I'd be interested in checking out. Okay, next pickup. So yeah, X-Men. Just need, I say, 3 issues in the Claremont Cockrum era to to burn through all the new X-Men stuff anyway from that area. Still need to pick up the handful of issues later, and then once I get all that done, I'll be diving into getting all the Neil Adams issues, maybe along with a couple other keys here and there. Thor 160. This is not a particularly obscure, or it doesn't really carry that big of a key factor, but you'll see the other issues back there ahead of 161 and 162, and I needed 160 to kick off the storyline to read this this Thor storyline that had Galactus as the central villain. And so I've been looking for this one for about a year. During the price boom during 2020 and 2021, this book shot up exponentially. I didn't really understand why, other than it just rode the tide with everything else. But this went over like $100 just for a decent copy off eBay. But I saw it at I think this was a Wonderfest pickup, and finally was able to nab a copy to finish out that run. I've got these issues, the Thor issues back there, I've had in a stack to read pretty much since I picked this issue up. I've had all of them for a little while. I need to go back and now consume the story in them. This one I read, and I think I picked this one up at Wonderfest as well, at the same time as the Thor book. Before I show it, we've got another guest here, Magic Lasso. Thanks for joining me, man. So picked this one up at Wonderfest this year. So this is the first solo Doctor Doom story. Marvel Superheroes Presents number 20, with a story drawn by, was it Larry Lieber. Stanley's brother drew the interior story in it. And surprisingly, it's not terrible. Story is pretty fun. The art's in a Jack Kirby-ish style. And the one thing I did disappoint myself with this particular copy is I didn't examine it at the point of sale, and it does have some pretty substantial spine tears at top and bottom. So if I had to do it over again, I probably wouldn't have bought this particular copy, but I probably would have picked up a copy along the way. So the last 4 issues I'll show as my biggest pickups are all one title, Fantastic Four. Magic Lasso, just a little podcast. Okay, it's chasing that Doctor Doom book. It is one of those that's kind of the key leading up to whatever Marvel does with the Fantastic Four. Interest in Doctor Doom is going to be huge. Everyone thinks that he's going to be part of Secret Wars whenever they get to that. So I definitely understand the appeal. This particular issue of Fantastic Four, again, is not anything that is super key or anything. But I just feel like this era of Fantastic Four, let's say issue 40 to 70, 75 maybe, is the high watermark for Stan Lee and Jack Kirby on Fantastic Four at Marvel. This is another one that I've been looking to pick up. Before the price spike in 2020, this was a $20 or $25 book on eBay, and then it went through the roof. It was like 60 or 80, and I'm like, I'm not gonna pay that for that book, and I picked this one up. Nice clean copy, $20 in my hand. So I can't remember if I got this at a show or through eBay, but if I bought through eBay, total in the hand cost was $20. So this book is an upgrade book for me this year. I had a copy that had some pretty substantial Spine Splits had some pretty substantial color breaks and color rubs and things like that on the cover. So I decided for a book this key, I wanted definitely a solid mid-grade, and I think that's what I've got here. You can obviously see this color rub and um, color breaks right there under the price, and a few more here around the way, but nothing super huge, nothing super substantial. But the important thing is with this book, the spine is in really nice shape. It is solid from top to bottom, no spine splitting of any substantial measure. And to me, especially on these square bound books, that's what's very important when picking out like what I will settle for in my collection. What I'm finding is the spine, whether it be a square bound book like this or a stapled book like this, I need both staples intact or no spine splits or very little. You know, a half inch at top and bottom. I guess I could probably live with that. Um, but that's thing number one. Thing number two is um, obviously as few major color breaks as possible. Nice clean edges. I don't. I guess sharp corners is a bonus, but when you're talking about mid-grade books, there's something that's got to be sacrificed, and I think corners might be it for me. Matthew Poe says DC Comics presents number 10, Ross Andru and Dick Giordano, Superman and Sergeant Rock. All right, I'm gonna have to pick that one up. Yeah, I've got a bunch of those early DC Comics presents. Thanks, Lasso. So this was a big year for me because I actually dipped my toe into buying graded comics. Looking back and seeing how prices have fallen, do I wish I'd have just stuck to my guns, avoided graded books and paid less? Probably. I think if I had waited, I could have paid less and got nicer copies in ungraded form. But in the case of one of these, I was paying so much, I did want a certain amount of security. But I felt if I was going to buy one graded book, I couldn't just have one. I would need another one. So I chose this as the brother to the big purchase that was planned for the year. So this is Fantastic Four number 28, and a 5.5 off white to white pages. The first team up between the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. I think the cover is pretty groovy. It's got all the characters on there. It tells you what it is. The condition is just fine for me. If I had found this in a raw, this grade of comic is something that's definitely on my radar with stuff I'm looking for. But I have to admit, sometimes I get obsessed by a book, and it's not that there's a FOMO aspect to it. It's just like I want to copy that book, and I want it more than all the other stuff, and I want it more than the amount of money I paid for it. So I went ahead and picked it up. Have I seen, like I said, other copies for less that I could have had if I'd have been more patient, been able to control myself? Sure, but I'm not going to live in a land of regret. I like the book. I wanted it. I got it. And so the biggest pickup this year, thumbnail kind of spoils it, but Fantastic Four 48. Got this one 4.0 white pages. I really like the copy I landed. I'm glad I was able to get it, like I said, in the security quote unquote these days as far as a graded book goes. But I was confident in what I was going to get out of this deal. Uh, so again, a solid mid grade. So we do have. We'll live with the color break over here. Uh, the edges are pretty good. We've got a small amount of looks like a little tear and some color rub at the top. Definitely a bunch of spine ticks, but overall, it was the white pages and the centering of this particular copy that really kind of made me choose it out of all the others that were available. That and the price I got it at. Again, could I have waited and got another copy raw and had it been a nicer copy for less money? Possibly, but not going to regret it. Um, it's a down market. I thought I was buying this close to the bottom, and the bottom continued to drop. So I didn't overpay for it at the time. I got a good deal on it at the time I bought it. Uh, if I tried to sell it now, I could probably get out of it what I put into it. But I'm on the risk of being, as I say, upside down. But I'm playing the long game here. I'm not in it to flip books. There's some pressable defects in it for sure. I'm not sure that would bump. Maybe I get a half grade bump if I pressed it, but I don't see the. I don't. I'm not going to risk the white pages to have it cracked and pressed. So there it is. That's my big book for the year. Um, so let's take a look at kind of what I was looking at target wise, and we'll see how well I did. This is one of the reasons right here why I like to do this type of show. Just to show kind of what is on my mind, and see what amount of success I have along the way. So this is from 2022. This is not 2023 targets, but the year before. And I just wanted to kind of point out it's good to see the progression of how some books carry over from year to year. Sometimes books I lose a little bit of interest in, and you can see what I picked up. So you can see, even in 2022, I knew in 2022 I didn't have the financial backing to really go after 48, but that was the year I did pick up the Giant Size X-Men #1. Gore was asking about that earlier. So I got that in 2022. Along with any of the books with the X's in them are books that I picked up that year. But you can see how I've been after things like the X-Men 97 for some time, X-Men 58 upgrade, things like that. But 2022 was really a pretty big year for me. That's pretty successful. So here we are in 2023. So I kind of look at things from various standpoints. There are some things I'm more hot after than others, I guess you could say. So I've got things like books that I'm really targeting. So those are priorities. Things I kind of keep an eye out for. That if they come along at the right price, I'm going to go for them. Then there are things that are kind of on my radar, and these are more things that maybe aren't as high dollar, or they've just got my attention at the time when I make the list. And then I've got a list of grails, and these are things I really don't. I'm not going to make them. I'm not going to get them all at once for sure. Some of them I probably will never own, but it's just good to kind of, for purposes like this particular show, just a rundown, just to show these are kind of things that I'm interested in long term. So I don't. Whereas in 2022 and 2023, I got some of the big goal books I went after. I got the X-Men. I got Giant Size X-Men. I got the FF48. And I got to tell you, I don't have the gut to shell out that kind of money all the time for, regardless of what the book is. I've got bigger boy, adult things I need to buy, like a shed to put in the backyard, or a pool to put in, or this year I also bought a pickup truck. Spent more money for that than I paid for any other vehicle I've ever owned. So, uh, with everything considered, I'm not going after anything hard this year, and actually, I'm really kind of reducing my expectations. I would rather read a bunch of good stuff than go out and really hunt down a lot of big key books. So this is what I've got on my list for this year, and I've been able to reduce it from 2 pages to one, just because my focus is getting tighter. I don't go to as many comic shows. I don't go out and buy as much as I used to. Hey, Jim Small, glad to see you, man. Man, I meant to send you a notice. Uh, so hopefully you go back and watch the rewind for what I went over earlier. But so here's where I'm at. So the books we're showing here up front. Uh, the biggest book on my list, if I were to really want to sink a few $100s into something, is First Appearance of Juggernaut. Here, I can make this bigger since we're only one page in. There we go. So yeah, First Appearance of Juggernaut, in the condition I like, a mid grade. The book goes for 500 to 600. I really would be comfortable at 300 to 400. So there's what you're willing to pay, and there's what the market says is needed and what people will pay. And I'm not going to compete hard to get that book, especially not this year. I would like to upgrade my X-Men 58 and X-Men 129. Both of them are solid mid-grade copies, and I would just like nicer copies for what they are. Fantastic Four Annual 2. Hey, Lady F. This is indeed where the cool kids are. Magic Lasso says, I see the Doom Patrol 99. Just curious if you bought the facsimile of it from a few months ago. No, I did not. I am not a big guy. I don't go after facsimiles, and I've been given some, and I appreciate them for what they are. And there are some where it's like, if I own the comic, I might want to get the facsimile, but I'm not a big facsimile guy. All right, so Fantastic Four Annual 2, another pretty big book. I'd like to get a decent raw copy. Again, I had a copy of this and sold it this year, and part of that was reinvested in the Annual 6 that I showed. So I'm looking to spend maybe a couple $100s on a nice copy. Again, the problem there is the condition goes for more than I'm willing to put into it. X-Men 100, you can't land a copy for less than $100. I like to be at like a $60 price point on something like this. In order to complete my run, I'm going to have to end up spending more than I would like. I do have a New Gods #1. I just want to upgrade. The UG stands for upgrade. I'd like to get a solid, either a really nice raw copy or a graded copy in an 8.5 or more. It's really an affordable book, even graded up to a 9.2. You can get it for less than $200. I need an X-Men 100, but I do have a threshold as far as what the condition is. It needs to be better than mid-grade. All my Claremont Cockrum era X-Men books are, say, 7.0 or better, condition-wise, all raw, and that's kind of what I look for. I look for nice, clean, presentable copies for those books. Yep. Chances are I'll get one slabbed, but put it this way, if I had a little bit more money in the bank, there's a raw copy I'd go get right now on eBay. See, finishing up. So this is the first time I've had the first appearance of the Teen Titans really on my radar, and it came on my radar last year because I realized how affordable it was. And then as soon as it got on my radar, the price started going up. So it's one of those that I'd like to have. It's going to be competitive with first appearance of Juggernaut, which, if you think about it, I would think the first appearance of Teen Titans would be more valuable. Second appearance Teen Titans and first appearance of Donna Troy. I like this just because I had the story in a 100-page giant as a reprint as a kid. So I just always loved that story for whatever reason. I had no idea what it was. I didn't know this was their first appearance. It was just fun. And then this last one's a Frontline Combat number 8, and this is an EC book. And I'm not huge in EC. I totally appreciate them for what they are. I know there are a lot of Golden Age collectors or pre-code horror collectors that are really into them. I like this issue just because it's got a cool Alex Toth story in it about guys flying. Was it a I don't know. It's an F8, not an F8. Anyway, they're flying. It's a story about fighters. It's not the Starfire that they're showing here, but it was the more common Cold War era American fighter that flew against the MiGs. The name's escaping me now. But yeah, it's just I want a classic story by one of my favorite artists, Alex Toth. That's what's in this one. And again, I want a decent, solid mid-grade copy. You can get rough-looking copies for under $100. I don't really want to go over $100. F8 Crusader. No, it's not. It wasn't an F8. It's gonna bug me now. Keep throwing them out there. I'll tell you when I see it, because I'm sure I've just got the old man memory where when I have to know something, have a name in front of me off the top of my head, I'm just missing it. Other priorities. I just added this, and this is not something that I would normally put on a hunt list video like this, because usually what I'm showing is the keys I'm going after. But one of the things I'm more excited to read this year is Redneck number 13 to 36. It's a storyline by Coates. What's his first name? Here it is. Old man memory again. Donnie Cates wrote Redneck, and I love the first 12 issues, and I gotta pick up the rest. No, it's not F4. I don't think. Definitely a great book. Yeah, Donnie Cates. Yep. That's killing me. I can't remember. Hold on. I'm gonna wait to my Google machine. Images. Show me the picture of the right thing. F86. Yeah, that's it. The F86 Sabre is the plane I was talking about that's in the Frontline Combat over here. Okay, so just running down the rest of my priority list. Yeah, Doom Patrol 99. Having watched a lot of the Teen Titans TV show, the way that they did Gar so badly in that one makes me want to go get the first appearance of Beast Boy. These issues of Avengers are just cleaning up the issues I need for to fill in my runs of the John Byrne and George Perez art in Avengers. I've got everything else except those. 100 Bullets, first print is a 9.8 candidate. I don't have GPA, so I'm not sure how many copies of 100 Bullets have been graded in 9.8. With it just being one of my personally favorite comics, I'd like to get a copy of that, just in a real nice condition. Yep, I knew I'd get it, but it took me a minute. And then books on my radar, first appearance of Bullseye, several more issues of Silver Age Fantastic Four. I had this on one of the slides for last year. Gene Colan's work on Batman and Detective. I think Gene Colan and Batman is like peanut butter and chocolate. But you don't. It's not something that's on a lot of people's radar. And he did quite a long run on those books. And then again, to tie into my love of the Teen Titans, the Kid Flash tease, Kid Flash's first appearance of the Yellow Suit, etc. I think the F-80, the shooting star, I think is what's on the cover. I'm moving my mouse and it's not coinciding with what's showing up in the window there. All right, let's see what else I have on my short little post-it note of an agenda here. Talked about my promotion earlier, talked about my pickups, talked about my my goals. That's the majority of everything I had to cover in this sweet little 45-minute video. I am going to be on JP Budget Collecting on his channel on Wednesday, I believe, to go over 8 Billion Genies. It's a series that's been published over the last couple of years, an independent title, and I'm looking forward to talking about that. Books we're considering going over on the channel here, Watchmen is a candidate, and the Wolfman and Perez New Teen Titans is also a candidate for us to review over an episode or episodes. Any creators or celebrities that I would like to meet? No, I used to be like a big time autograph collector, artist and writer collector. I got most everybody that I wanted to get autographs from. There are a few out there that I would like to still get. I just don't get to the big comic book shows anymore like I used to. It's definitely something I miss, and I hope to be able to get back to doing that, more of that. What I've been doing is just going to smaller shows where you don't have to pay admission, find unique books, but there's also not any kind of star power there. There may be 8 billion genies, but there's only one Barbara Eden. True facts right there. So what are you guys going after this year? Lady Fantastic and Magic Lasso especially. I'd like to know what you're going after. Gore, are you the kind of reader or collector that there's something out there that you try and chase after? Seems like you're pretty well read, that you're picking up kind of stuff as it comes out, or you've got a pretty healthy collection of the classic stuff you enjoy. Like I said, I'll be reading more of the Kirby stuff that I've picked up. I've got a couple like miniseries. I want to go back and read the John Byrne Hidden Years X-Men series. I've got his his X-Men fan fiction books. I've got another one of those to read, and I know he's drawn another whole edition worth that hasn't been collected yet. I might have to try and find out a way to consume that. Jim Small, he's only looking for a couple of model kits. I talked real briefly about my promotion at the beginning of the episode, so you know, having worked with you at round 2, you know more about what's going on, but I did touch on that today. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I had to go over. If I can clear my schedule tomorrow afternoon and having it be like 4 degrees out and wintry snow, chances are it's probably going to happen. Where Coach Vic and I will talk about the opening salvo, the first few storylines of 100 Bullets. So look forward to doing that. Magic Lasso says, I'm really after Justice League Volume 1. I ended in 2023 needing 36 issues. So 1 per month for the next 3 years is the goal. Gotcha. Of course, Golden Age Wonder Woman. Finding those in budget is tough. True facts. I am replacing my. Let me figure out how to word this. Part of me doing this channel, when I started at the beginning, I never really wanted to be the, hey, this is what I picked up, and be like the big show off, which is pretty much all I've done this episode. But I wanted to talk more about the stories I liked, things like that, to expose people to new stuff they haven't picked up before. And this year I hope to do more of that, more talking about the stuff I like and less about picking up, because I can't keep up the pace to make regular content of big pickups. Gore says, I stopped collecting comic books years ago and sold much of it over the years. I continue looking for Fantomas, which are Mexican comics, anything related to Guido Crepax's, is it Crepax or Crepa Valentino, which are, they're all hard to find. Those are foreign editions, if I know correctly. Definitely. Began my channel to talk about comics I liked and meet like-minded readers. It's been great. So that's why I did start mine too. And it's what's confused me along the way is, what is the measure of success? A lot of channels, chase 1,000 subs so they can monetize if they've got the view count or the watch hours and all that kind of thing. I just don't have the time, the effort. It really comes down to those two things to make growing to 1,000 subscribers a priority. So I'll come on here and do what I can, what's fun, and I'll be happy when pals like you guys here in the live chat come and check it out. And I'd like to make myself more available to come on other shows and talk about stuff, and have it be talking about the content of the comics more than what's in the news, what I mean, I do like to see what people pick up. I love it when Lady F shows a big whack of comics, and I need to do more of that too. Just showing stuff I have. I need to enjoy what I have. That's what it comes down to, and share that enjoyment with my audience. Magic Class would like to pick up the first Superman and Spider-Man Treasury. I've got a copy of that. I'm happy to own. And hey, let's hook up sometime. The only thing I need is advanced warning. So a week or two. Let's plan a week or two ahead of time so I can prepare the family for my absence. It's pretty much what it comes down to. But yeah, there we go. So I think we'll wrap this one up. I really, really appreciate you guys joining me live. I appreciate everybody that watches the rewind. If you watch this after the fact, share what books you're coming after, what you're going after for this year. Share what books you're reading that you're enjoying so I can give them a look. When I started on YouTube 10 years ago, most comic channels were like ours. It's a very different animal now. That is the fact. And I appreciate you too. And I look forward to seeing new content posted by you guys as well. So with that, we'll sign off. Remember, keep your priorities straight. Faith, family, comic books. See you next time, guys.